because sometimes we're born in a world with so many issues, problems. I just feel like the world comes at us and then we forget who we really are. Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's the Sunday sermon. I have a very special someone here with me today to engage us on a series where we'll be discussing sort of the Real You book that by the grace of God I was able to write. I hope you've gotten your copy. It's where books are sold, and we're just going to get into it. Althea, do you want to introduce yourself to my amazing guests?
Yes, but I've been here before.
You've been here before, yeah?
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 times, yeah?
Yes, yeah. So, Althea Murimi, Pastor Angie's daughter. And yeah, I'm happy to be here as always.
Amen.
And to be a part of this.
Amen. Only child.
Yes.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
I take it over. Today, you are the interviewer. Me, I'm sitting here to answer questions.
Yes. So, today we're all talking about the Real You book. And let's start off with about the book, and I want to know, what inspired you, or where did you draw inspiration from to write the book, The Real You?
Okay, so I was thinking about that. There's so many ways. First of all, it came from the PLF manual. So I got a download of a manual which I have used to train for over like 10 years, train leaders on purpose and leadership. And one day also, Reverend Peter Bright, so shout out to Reverend Peter Bright of the Doug Hayward Mills Ministry, looked at the manual and he said, these are 12 books. He said each chapter can be a book on its own. He's really good with books. His whole life and ministry is based on books. So he said it's a really power-packed book, so you can do each chapter. That's what gave me the first idea. And then I wanted to just write something that ministers to us, because sometimes we're born in a world with so many issues, problems. I just feel like the world comes at us and then we forget who we really are. So I wanted to unpack that from who we really are. So that's what inspired me to write the book.
Okay, that's true. I mean, I like that answer. And with regards to your previous book that you wrote, The Purpose and Leadership Forum. So is this like just one chapter out of it, or for a first-time listener who is tuning in for the first time or hearing about this book for the first time, what would you tell them the book is about, if you had to explain?
Great. So the book is about what makes up humanity. So even when I wrote the book, this is chapter 1 of the PLF manual, but with expansion. You add to it things that you've learned, truths that you've learned, experiences that you've had that have now changed. Maybe when I started doing ministry, which is like now 14 or 15 years ago, there are certain concepts that I had or truths that then have either come out, have been shaped more or sharpened more. So there's an expansion because of understanding and knowledge and time and experience and exposure. There are others which I found, that's not really true, just by experiencing it, or maybe here I need to show some empathy. So that's what the book is about, who humanity is. So when I wrote the book, I only addressed the spirit, the soul, and the body. But in this book, when I wrote the PLF manual, I addressed the spirit, the soul, and the body. But I got expansion, I got revelation and more knowledge, because now, as a human being, you're not just a spirit, soul, and body. You have to live in a social setting. So there's the social part of who you are, which includes all your relationships, how we relate with one another, even marriage. So that's very important. And then for me, another point is social impact, like community, the power of community and living in community, and why do we live in community. And then now there was the professional angle, because we spent a lot of our time in the marketplace, a lot of it. So what's God's plan for your professional career? And then what's God's plan for you as a leader, because we're all leaders. We're all leading something, someone, somebody, even if you're only leading yourself. So I wanted to bring in the play between how you lead self and also lead others. And sometimes people feel it has to be done separately, but it can also be working in tandem. As I'm growing in leading myself, I'm also responsible for leading others. And then we all enact life in different geographical locations. And then you could be called, like I think I touched on that in the book, to different geographical locations. Like for me, for some reason, I'm based in Kenya, but I'm called to Uganda, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa. Those are the additional countries within this continent that I'm also called to. So it's important to start locating that. Do you have a feel for a certain nation? Do you just have a burden, a passion? You just don't even know why. So you begin to understand geographically as well what nations you're called to, where you're positioned, what's happening around you. And an important one, which I touch on in the book, is relocation. I find that, and I found out through experience, that some people just move out of their where they live, and they move to another location, and miracles begin to happen. So I address also, are you located in the right geographical location? So the whole book is unpacking who you are spiritually, solically, physically, socially, financially, professionally, in leading self and others, and in different geographical locations. And then I do a case study on Daniel.
Okay. Nice. That's so would you say it's sort of like not a self-help book, but trying to help individuals realize sort of their purpose, what they're meant to be doing in this huge ecosystem that's humanity, that's the world, and try and just give them some pointers as to how to place themselves.
Almost find your place.
Yeah, find your place.
Because the world is such a huge place.
Yeah.
There's so much happening. Of course, social media has also taken things out of, for me, control.
Yeah.
So I think you just find yourself lost. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to unpack. Even when people get born again, it's not only for people who are born again. I think a lot of people have read it who are not even born again.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of jargon. We have a lot of things that I think almost, what do I say, insider language that nobody else understands, but you just play along with it because everybody seems to know what it means, So like, what is salvation? You know, I want to break it down so that you understand it and you get it.
Yeah.
So that it's not these big things that are just out there that I don't understand, or that as a Christian, I'm just flowing with, but I really don't understand.
Yeah.
Because this is now inside the language in the church, it's language we speak, so everybody's just flowing in it, but they don't really have an understanding of what it is and what it means.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great explanation.
Yes.
So my next question, were you anxious about releasing the book, or worried about how it would be received in the public? This is not your first book, this is your second book, so at least you're a seasoned author, but like, this is more, I think it's different than a manual, because it's different sort of book. So were you anxious, anything, about releasing the book? What are thoughts?
Very anxious.
Why were you anxious?
First of all, I think that, like you said, the PLF manual was to it was to people who came to, they said, I want to do the class.
Yeah.
So it wasn't out there in the public.
Yeah.
It was just for the people who engaged within
with the
class.
Yeah.
But this now is out there. It's in the Bookshop. It's at the Bookstop, I think. Bookstop at Yaya, it's at the Ufungamano Christian Bookshop on the second floor, also at Yaya Centre, and we're working on getting it. It's at African Book Hub in Kiambu, and then now we're trying to get it on the other bookshop platforms like Keswick and Textbook Center. It's an ebook. It's available, I think, in 10 ebook stores, platforms, so it's everywhere. And so that, and I don't know whether that resonates with somebody. So when I wrote it, it took so long. It took like 5 years to write this, because, I have other things that I'm doing, so I'd pack it. Then I'm very particular, I think, and it's important, on what goes out there. So I couldn't, even if when they edited, I had to read it again. So every edit, I have to read it from beginning to end. Then I have to stop myself because I want to add. I'm like, no, I should say this. Then I realize at some point, no.
Yeah.
I just read, edit, and that's it. And then I sent it to my spiritual authority, Apostle Kibinge. Then he said, now send it to another. I'm like, oh my goodness, send it to another editor, Apostle Catherine Brown. So she edited it as well. And she was really nice. She just put it in brackets. So I had to go back through it. Now decide whether it's making sense. Oh my goodness. And then now, when it was, and I think it's in true human style, when it was already done, edited, covers are done, printed copies, I entered into panic mode. Like, what? First of all, who am I? Who, how you start? Who am I? Who told you you have anything to say?
Imposter
You're
syndrome.
so foolish.
What
have you ever told people? Are you okay? Because the book, and I think, now I'm understanding even how to, more about ministry that I used to hear from my teachers. When you're ministering to somebody, when this book has to reach somebody, maybe who's done the PLF class, so they have knowledge at a different level.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking now they're going to think this is so shallow and so simple. Then it has to speak to an audience who have never.
So you have to sort of make it palatable for everybody.
You're talking to experts, non-experts, people who have experience, people who don't have, people who think this is such foolishness and rubbish. So you're talking to all those people. So all of a sudden I felt I saw all those people in front of me. But I really felt, so I guess it's the imposter syndrome. I was like, my goodness. I wanted to recall it. I was like, let's bring it back. I can't do this. And then, people, criticism. I guess that's how leaders feel, like even who are more out there in the social media. That, now I was expecting criticism, feedback, and then like good Kenyans. Good Kenyans. I had an advert about it. Oh my goodness, in seconds. Good Kenyans.
Saying what?
Why is the title got the real you and the unpacking you together? You should change this tagline. The book is printed. Excuse me.
It's visual.
Where is the audio? I'm like, please, perhaps we can celebrate there's a book first and the ebook. But I think Kenyans are like that. They just had. So they were like, where's the audio? You know? Like nobody was like, but you know, and it's something I think we need to speak to. We don't really celebrate. If I had done this book in Nigeria, we'd have had a party for a week. 1 week of Ghana, 1 week of party first. We celebrate the book. There were those who were celebrating, but I can't believe Kenyans come back. It's always like,
I think it's just humans. It's just humans, you know. Instead of, we are quick to judge, then celebrate. But I'm sure the reception has been positive since
you've already sold over
out
200 copies, the first print. So the first print run is over. We've now reprinted. And then as an ebook, now they have to get into a marketing plan and all those things to get it done.
The audiobook is coming.
The audiobook is coming. And then because I did prison mentorship, I do prison mentorship. So I do it through Clean Start, and they have a program in the prisons called the Ufungamano program. So when there were 33 women graduating, and my spirit was just drawn to 3. And so I'm mentoring them. And so I sent them each a copy of the book. And then they were telling me the reaction in the prison. And then they said, but not everybody can read English. So now they've given me more work, because now I have to do, I'm going to
make it accessible now.
Convert it into Swahili. And as I do the audio, because I'm working on the audio now, then I'm going to do the Swahili version of the book and the audio, so that also goes out.
Wow, that's amazing to hear. So we're going to have more versions of the book coming out, and I know this is not the last book, but a quick question on what have you learned from this experience, writing your second book, and this being more like not a manual, but a whole book that's now just available everywhere. What have you learned from this experience, and if anything, has anything surprised you the most through this experience?
Okay, so that's a really good question. I've learned not to be anxious, because now after the panic, I calmed down, I spoke to myself, I sent it out. The reaction of people was good. So I've also learned you can't please everyone. It's sort of something that I knew, but it's emphasized it more. Can't please everybody. There are those who are receiving the book very well. There are people who are not happy, but that's okay. You stick to your lane, you know, talk to your audience, because there are people who are really hungry. The feedback was amazing. Some of it was really making me cry and weep, because it was reaching people where they are, and this is exactly what I needed for this time. So I think that's important, to reach your audience. You can't reach everybody, but there's a targeted people who want to do this. I think the other thing I've learned is I'm going to have to really carve out time. I'm really going to have to be more, deliberate and intentional about carving time to write, because I've got to do more. And then for me, it's also like for your children, multiple children out there, many children, they'll know who I am. Can you imagine? They'll know who I am. They'll have a picture of me. Hallelujah. They'll know this is Shosho. They'll know my thoughts, my values, what I felt. So I just love its legacy.
Its legacy,
yes. And when Huka passed on as well, just to bring that in, is I remember, now some people say, who's going to write the eulogy? And we have amazing friends, Auntie Susan's friend, Erica, was just so helpful. But you know what she said? No, nobody, we're looking at her like this. Like, we don't even, what? We don't know. We don't even know. We don't know anything about my dad's eulogy. We were sort of stuck and mourning and in shock. So she just picked his book.
And it's all there,
and
laid out.
His legacy was all there. So she picked the eulogy and everything about my dad just from his book. So legacy is important.
Legacy,
Somebody, there's going to be, I keep saying this, and I think it's Napoleon who said it, I'm not sure, and they can correct me, but I keep feeling like I came, I saw, and I conquered. Like, there's a piece of me now in this world, and even on platforms, on ebooks, that will always be here. I've left my mark.
Wow.
And that has made me extremely happy, extremely bold, and asking everyone. The other thing is, you always feel like I don't have anything to say, but you have something to say to someone who needs to hear it.
Exactly.
Or someone that you're called to. You have that something to say. Wow. And we've got to know that you are here. Whether you leave it in picture format, digital format, whether it's a book you write, whether it's a collection of essays, whether it's poems, whether it's prayers, there's just got to be something that says,
I was here,
and will outlive you. Exactly. Because Huka's book is always with us. It's there. We have it. This is another one. So imagine how powerful it's going to be for your children, because you'll be able to give them their great grandfather's book and mine.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So I'm very excited. So that's what I've learned. And I've learned also that I think sometimes we overthink things. We analysis paralysis, then it paralyzes us. And then we're too quick to feel, to want to, please everybody? And you just need to know what you're called to do, and you need to do what you're called to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love it. So one last question. I know you've mentioned it, but just let your viewers know where they can purchase the book, and also maybe we can leave a link to it available online. Yeah, let us know where we can buy the book.
So I think they'll put it in the link. They'll put in the link, and they'll write to you I know it's on Amazon Kindle. I know it's on Kobo stores, but there are like another 8 stores. And then here in Nairobi, it's available at the Yaya Centre. On the 2nd floor at the Bookstop, and also at the Ufungamano Christian Bookshop, and also at African Book Hub in Kiambu, and then we're working on listing it in the other shops. And it's also available at our offices in Karen, so they'll put the number there, so you could call the office in Karen, pay for the book through the M-Pesa, and then just get it delivered to you at a fee and at a cost.
Lovely.
Yes. Wow, so really grateful that you watched that, and look forward to more engaging sessions with Althea, just as we discover the real you, unpacking who you are, and that's really important. God bless you, and bye-bye.